Dornbusch download 118. I'm Andrew. It's been a while since I've done this, and Michael. Hello, Michael.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Michael.
I almost didn't recognise.
You're going, who are you from where? So we were just talking, this is going to be the second last Dornbusch download for the year. It's a bit upsetting, it's a bit teary. But look, we were saying for next week we might actually do a bit of a year in review. I mean, again, won't sort of take up a heap of time, but it has been a really interesting year, Brexit, Trump, if you call that interesting. So, we can cover off on some of that. But today we thought we might talk about just sort of, again, generally where the market's going. And one area that we have a particular interest in is emerging leaders. And they are just having the stuffing knocked out of them at the moment. Hard to sort of rationalise as to why. The only thing I can put it down to, and I'd be interested in your thoughts, Michael, is that because there's been a resurgence in materials and there's been a resurgence in the banks. Is that how you're reading it? Is there other things afoot?
Oh, I think that's definitely part of it, Andrew, no doubt. Yeah, there certainly seems to be some movement back from some of those mid to smaller cap companies. Some of the real darlings up until, literally a month or so ago.
Did someone say Bellamy's?
Yeah, Bellamy.
BAL for those playing at home?
Yes, but no, I mean, and really good companies inherently too, but we're seeing this enormous reaction from markets, aren't we, where companies, Bellamy's is the latest big example, of course, that, they're coming out, sure, with some downgrades, but the market is just absolutely poleaxing the share prices, and a 5% say earnings downgrade can equate to a 20% drop in the share price.
Which you'd have to say is overdone. We'll talk about Bellamy's in a moment, but yeah, you're right. It's sort of disproportionate, the response.
Absolutely.
And do you think that's a function of more electronic trading? Because as we know, 85% of trading is now electronic. It's only 15% is being done by humans. That in itself, I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but that's a bit concerning as well as to whether that's sort of leading to, but that also smells opportunity for investors as well. Well, let's briefly talk Bellamy's. So Bellamy's even, say 3 months ago was $14, $15 and today it's $6. Like in your view, would you be sort of looking at buying some at the moment, or are you sort of just being a bit cautious? Or?
Yeah, I always like to see the dust settle a bit, Andrew. I'm sure you'd agree.
Day 2, day 3 today.
The old rule of thumb is you never buy on the day of a bad announcement. You usually wait for the dust to settle a bit, and even if the share price starts to kick back up again, you like to see a bit more volume, a bit more of a share price rally up, albeit you do give up that initial sort of surge back up, I suppose. But look, definitely one to keep on the radar. Again, you'd probably just maybe sit on the fence and just see how the coming days and weeks just transpire. Traditionally we are going into a positive time for the market, sort of, mid-December onwards we tend to sort of kick on a bit. Obviously a major reaction there the other day.
Overreaction, some might say. 45% drop in share price.
Absolutely, yeah. But the company still looks good. The outlook, you'd have to think, remains good. People aren't going to stop having babies and all of that sort of thing. That Chinese market has still got to have a fair amount of gusto in it. So
I think the concern though was, they had a thing called Singles Day, and so they had more growth over the previous Singles Day, but it didn't meet their own internal guidance as to what they thought they would do. And I think to complicate things, A2 Milk, which is also involved now in selling powdered milk into China, they have actually experienced some pretty good growth. So in the market, so people are saying, you can't just hang it on the China slowing down story if your competitors are actually able to grow the business better than you are. So certainly Bellamy's is one. Is there any other emerging leaders that you've got on the radar?
Yeah, well, and even just on that, Andrew, very quickly, I mean, we saw Blackmores and Bega as well. They sort of do a bit in that space, and again, came out with basically just some commentary that things weren't perhaps as rosy as what was once first thought, and particularly Bega shares really took a good old touch-up. Blackmores have been sort of in a downward spiral now for a fair while. But again, having said that, emerging leaders, Blackmores, since we're on the topic, again, another one to keep a bit of an eye on. Oh, what were they, 220?
220? Yeah. What are they now?
109, I
Wow,
think,
they've
today.
come right off, haven't they?
So again, but of course, very much subject to, I guess the pretense that China's just going to keep consuming like.
You'd have
like
to
no
think
tomorrow.
that they would. I mean, maybe not with the same growth as what we've experienced in the past, but like you're saying, it's 1.2, 1.3 billion people. I mean, and that's why Australia's, so highly regarded in the agricultural space, because we're clean and we're green, and that feeds through to baby formula. Last one for me is one called Class 1 Super, CL1, and they've gone from like $4.20 back to around $2.80, I think, today. So they do a cloud-based administration for self-managed super funds, and as we know, that's a huge growing area. There's about 500,000 self-managed super funds. They have about 100,000 of them as customers and are still growing by 20% per annum. And if you've got a self-managed super fund, it's highly likely your accountant has said, hey, sign this piece of paper for Class. So, we think they've come off disproportionately. And again, that's on the basis of the materials banks shift. So that might be another one to have a chat to your friendly Dornbusch advisor about. Apart from Dan, he's sunning himself on a beach somewhere, a slacker. So Michael and I are holding the ship, and even I've been sort of on school holiday duty. So Michael, the face of Dornbusch Partners, he loves it, don't you, mate?
Oh,
You
absolutely,
love it.
absolutely.
And Cyclone Goulson when he blows in as well. Anyway, till next week.
Thank you.